All right, so the purpose of today's meeting is to begin thinking about and developing a lesson that focuses on your goal of engagement while using technology. And last time we met, you mentioned that you wanted 100% of your students to be engaged in the lesson. So one of the things I'm going to need you to do before we our next meeting is to start thinking about an AKS that you're going to be working on. And working towards and what mastery looks like in order for us to start using that technology, which we said we were going to use Nearpod. And so we can start building a lesson that involves Nearpod. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at this checklist that I provided. It should be your first checklist. It says using assessments effectively. And so the purpose of a checklist is so that we can make sure that we are hitting all of the things we need to hit. Now, this is not set in stone. Okay, so we can amend it, we can keep things, we can edit things, we can change things based off how you feel if we need to add or change things, okay? So let's go over it. The first part of this checklist says, ensures all students respond. The second one says to develop a group response ritual, ask students to explain their response, repeat assessments to ensure clarity, reinforce students using assessment results, and use effective questioning techniques. So looking back at the first one, ensures all students respond. Is there a specific percentage you are looking for, or knowing your students, do you think that you need to adjust it? So do you said you wanted 100% engagement. Is that something that you want?
100%.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Develop a group response ritual. Do you currently have a response ritual? So it could be, I'm going to give you 20 minutes, 30 minutes, turn and talk to your neighbors, like think, pair, share, and then I'll use PBIS randomizer, something like that.
Yes, but very soon always the same.
Okay, so for this particular lesson, do you want to use one and like use that as our kind of like template or model throughout the whole thing?
So let me ask you, so you're saying for like to complete the whole entire
Nearpod activity?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay. Do you want to keep that on the checklist?
you can take it out.
Okay. Ask students to explain the response. How will you do this? Are you going to do digitally, think, pair, share, further questioning? Do you want them to talk to other students? You want them to
I like to do have that like that board, that
collaboration board, yeah.
And so something like that.
Okay. So we'll keep that. Repeat assessment to ensure clarity.
Like the pre and the
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Okay. So I'll definitely show you that one on the one that I'm currently doing. Reinforce students using assessment results. So like small group, make sure you clear misconceptions, stuff.
Yeah.
I'll keep that one. And then using effective questioning techniques. Is that something that you feel you're confident with, comfortable? Okay, you want to keep that one? Perfect. All right. So you are going to utilize Nearpod as a form of engagement, active participation and assessment, and you want to see 100% of your students engaged at all times. So we will go ahead and look at a Nearpod, since you wanted me to show you and model it through the process. So let me pull this up. All right, So I'm gonna show you one that I've done, just so you can get some ideas as far as what you can do with it. And this is one that I'm gonna be working on with my students pretty soon. One thing that I do like, and I don't know if you know this, you can actually go in Google Slides, and you can use Google Slides to create it. I don't know if you're aware of that, by doing add-on tools and Nearpod, and you can actually make it, because I'm not really fond of the backgrounds on Nearpod. You can actually do an add-on for Nearpod, and then it will come up to the side and you can add those components of Nearpod. So that's something we can look into as well. It's literally the same components, but looking at this, so one thing that I'm gonna be doing with my students, and you can definitely do it as well, is there's a matching. So they have to like look at the vocabulary, look at the term and match it. They can do a before and after. So you give it to them. They might not know all the terms, but they can match what they know and then come back to it at the end of the lesson once they've gone through all that vocabulary. That's a pretty good tool that I like using. Reading, the poll feature, just get an idea of what they can be doing. And please ask any questions as we go. So we've got some more polling, some more reading, and then quizzes. So that's another function where you can looking at the checklist, you can repeat assessments to ensure clarity and reinforce students using that assessment results. I'm trying to think where my collaborative board is. This might be it. Okay, yeah. So here's my collaborative board. And I believe on this one, I made it so that they can edit their responses, and they can also, yeah, here. They can edit their source, they can edit their responses, and then it doesn't show their name. So that's something you're gonna have to decide before you do the live version of it, whether or not you want them to see their name. And a lot of them have timers. So I put timers on the quizzes for mine just because I'm like, I'm gonna give you like they're very short, more like poll questions than actual quizzes. So I'm giving them a time limit on those. And I think you can do that for the collaborative board. And then also if you wanted them to draw anything, that would be something you can do.
How do you do the drawing?
Let me make let me do add-ons. So let's say, what's something you guys are going to be learning pretty soon? Government. What would be something you would want them to maybe draw? Like if you're going to ask a question and you wanted them to draw something.
Like a lot of times what I use drawings or illustrations for vocabulary words. So they will have the word, write the definition, and have an image. So I'm trying to think of it. Delinquent.
Okay, so you got to say vocabulary word here. Vocabulary word. Can't spell. Draw. Would you want them to write a definition too?
Yeah.
Draw a picture. Write a definition. What else?
That's it in the term. With the term.
Okay, with term. Okay, so again, there's the add timer if you wanted to do that. There's the instructions. You could put a picture here, or you could put audio or other media. You could put a background in the background. I don't generally do that just because. And then it should give us a preview through this. No, let's go to save and go. Okay, preview. And then so then you could, there's a text feature, so they could write the term and the color, and then they can draw it with the different colors. I think that's like more of a thicker marker. And then there's the pencil, and they can actually add pictures too. So that's something that's pretty cool about that feature. So there's that. There's also some other features if you wanted to. Just looking back here, you've got features such as okay, I'm gonna open another Nearpod real quick just because it's deciding that it doesn't want to work right now. Great. I'll just really quickly show you some of the activities that you can do. So there's like matching pairs, time to climb, draw it, drag and drop, which are good. And then there are also you wouldn't use that much, but there's also, I really like this VR field trip. So they can literally do a virtual reality, kind of like the Oculus you were doing, which might be cool. 3D Nearpod I haven't tried, but you could also do slideshows, and they can do like Notice and Wonders on there, what we were talking about last time. If you wanted to put a PD or article on there, you could do that. Vocabulary video, there might be one on government on there. And then, as I mentioned, all the other ones, fill in the blanks, polls, matching, quizzes, items such as that. All right, so how comfortable are you feeling in regards to using this, making a lesson with it?
I'm excited. So I'm ready to go.
Okay, so my only request from you is just going to be that you start thinking about an AKS. You said government. Kind of think about what you want to have on your Nearpod, so that we can kind of decide where we want to go from there as far as what we want it to look like, what activities we want the kids to do, and then we will record it and just see how it goes. And then as far as the day that you do this activity with the students, I want you to think, if you want me to, are you going to need me to help model using Nearpod with your students, or do you want me to just kind of be in the back? If you need me, I'm there to support you, like co-teaching in a sense. Okay, so just think about that kind of stuff, and then we will go from there. Thank you.